Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and I'm an Apple guy. As you know, there's no doubt about it. I made a lot of videos pertaining to Apple products and just Apple everything, and like literally my whole channel is by now is based off of Apple products, right? So whenever Microsoft made an ad comparing their Surface Pro 7 to the iPad Pro the 2020 iPad Pro, I wanted to check it out because I use an iPad to edit my videos and do my YouTube channel, and I'm into Apple products. So I checked out the ad, and I don't like the ad at all. It's the worst ad ever. So what I wanted to do today is I wanted to take you through the ad if you haven't seen it, and kind of point out the problems with the ad or what I don't like with the ad, and we'll see. Let's just talk about it. We'll watch it. Yeah. Okay. So the ad is Microsoft Surface Pro 7, still the better choice. Oh, and also if you see me looking down here while I'm talking, it's because I'm looking at my iPad that has the video on it, so that's the reason why it looks really weird. But yeah, let's get started with it.
A lot of people wanted me to compare the Microsoft Surface Pro 7 to the iPad Pro, so here we go. The Surface Pro has a built-in kickstand. Now with the iPad Pro, this is the Surface type cover. It clicks and attaches. I love that click. This is the iPad keyboard. It's a lot heavier. With the Surface,
you know, bam, one and done. You got your keyboard now, right? But the iPad is way too heavy, which my main problem with that is, who cares if it's heavier? If you have a keyboard, right, and you're using it to type on your iPad, which you don't have to buy a keyboard, you can just type on the display, the on-screen keyboard. You don't have to go out of your way and buy a keyboard to, you know, do this, to type. And if it is heavier, you're not gonna feel the heaviness if you're typing. You don't pick up and type at the same time. Like, who does that? Who picks up their iPad and types in the air? And like, yeah, it could be heavier if you're bringing it in a backpack or something, or you're traveling with it, and that's a problem. If it's a little bit too heavy for you, it can, you know, hurt your back or whatever. But I don't understand why it's such a big deal, where it's like a deal breaker almost. And you'll see throughout this whole entire ad segment is they'll pull out little tiny details, little tiny nitpicks that, you know, if you have to be like the 1% guy, or the 1% of people who actually uses that nitpick or takes or will counter that problem to really have a problem with it. If you're making a keyboard, right, and if you're advertising your keyboard as the one keyboard, why don't you just talk about how it feels? Why don't you just talk about how the travel on it is nice? It's got really nice, the design, it feels good. Like, one of the biggest complaints about the iPad Folio keyboard that it was shown in this ad is that it doesn't feel good. Not that it's heavy.
Because of the keys themselves, you'll either love them or hate them for...
Basically, it feels like you're typing on a table with a little bit more key travel and feedback.
The second generation, aside from those changes that we just talked about, just feels the same in every other way to the first gen. Typing is still an interesting experience for those who have never typed on this keyboard.
Is the fact that it doesn't feel good in the hand, the travel sucks, it doesn't have backlit keyboard, and keys, that's what the word is. That's the biggest qualm about the Folio. Not that it's heavy. Who cares if it's heavy? You're typing on it. No, you're not going to pick it up while you're typing. And to totally just diss the iPad because it's too heavy is not how you're supposed to conduct a product comparison. As you'll see with a lot of this kind of video, is that it wants to mock a review, but it does everything wrong when you're doing a review. Either way, let's go to the next section, which is connectivity.
with the Surface, you have all kinds of ports. iPad has one. You want to be this guy?
Okay. That's rude. First off, like, I can understand having a lot of ports. That's good. You know, if you just need an extra port to charge your phone, or you need an extra port to put in a mouse, that's your point. But to have the only reason why your product is better on connectivity is you don't want to be that guy is the worst way to market more ports. Why don't you just say, oh, we have USB type like USB 3 and Thunderbolt 4, which would be an actual selling point because you actually have better transfer speeds with Thunderbolt 4. You have better connection. You can run a display like I don't even know what the display is, like a 6K display with USB or Thunderbolt 4, right? Like that's an actual selling point to say, oh, mine has more ports than this guy, and you don't want to be that guy, so you better buy our product because it has 2 more ports, and it only has 2 ports besides the charging port. Only 2. In all fairness, the iPad only has 1 port, the charging port, and yes, if you need other ports, you are gonna have to buy a dongle. But to classify someone who has to buy a dongle as that guy is just like condescending on the buyer. And I feel like to someone who is buying this, right? Someone's who buying this because they're looking at the ad, obviously, right? It's kind of irrelevant to point out that fact. Some guys gonna be watching this ad, be like, oh, I don't want to be that guy. I better get this product, not the other one. I don't want to be the lame-o that has to carry a dongle everywhere he goes, so I better buy the other one. You know, I don't want to be ostracized from my fake friends by buying the one with less ports. Like, come on, guys, you know how to advertise. Stop making the most nitpicky and pointless reasons to sell your product. That's like BS. That's not even a real reason. Like, come on.
iPad Pro is just a tablet. Surface is a full computer and a tablet. And now, the price.
To say that the iPad or the iPad is just a tablet is completely wrong. I do understand that the Microsoft Surface Pro 7 does support desktop apps, which the iPad Pro does not support desktop apps. It has mobile apps, right? It's a mobile device, mobile apps. It does not support desktop apps, which is totally fair. That's a good point to point out, that it doesn't support desktop apps. Like if you wanted to use PowerPoint, you can't use PowerPoint, the app, on an iPad, right? You can't use Photoshop. You can't use Final Cut or, you know, DaVinci or what is it, Premiere, right? But to totally disregard everything that the iPad has by saying, oh, it's just a tablet, is completely wrong. I've built this whole entire channel on an iPad. I've edited every single video and made some of the thumbnails with an iPad. And let me tell you another hitter. This iPad that I use is not even the one they show in the video. It's the older one, the less powerful one than the one they show. That should be a point. It can do so much. It's not just a tablet. To people, it's their whole career. Like me, it's my whole career. Without this thing, I wouldn't be able to do what I do. People are able to do, not like actual Photoshop, but they can go into Lightroom and they can do video editing, they can do photo editing, they can do like CAD on an iPad. And just to disregard all of that by saying, it's just a tablet, guys. Look at this fool over here. He bought just a tablet, you know. It's just lying to the customer. I hate this ad. It's so annoying. Okay, we'll get to the next section and then I'll wrap up with like an overview of stuff.
The price.
The price. Yeah, the price. That's totally not inflated because if you look down at the subtext, the little white text at the bottom, it says price includes device and keyboard shown. So yeah, that obviously makes theirs look appealing because it's literally half the price of the competitor, almost. But you do realize, like, hey, pro tip, you don't have to buy the one that the Apple supports. You don't have to buy that one, first off. So to inflate the price with their own keyboard is dumb. Like, I bought a keyboard folio for my iPad. It's $60. The iPad, the official Apple one, for the official Apple folio for the 2020 iPad Pro is about $179, which is a lot of money for a keyboard, right? But to use that keyboard to hyperinflate the price, even though it is said in the ad that, hey, the keyboard was added into it, they're making their product look better than it actually is. And I understand that at the end of the day, you do have to sell your product. But there are more ethical or more consumer friendly ways of selling your product. And hey guys, if you have eyes, you may have noticed that it only includes the keyboard, not the pencil that they showed a few seconds ago. So you better buy that. So that brings it up to about $900 for the Surface, which admittedly is still cheaper than the iPad Pro. But you don't have to get the keyboard for the iPad. Hey dudes, it's Editor Aiden here, and I wanted to make a correction right here. So I cut out this part in the video, but I talk about that there's no third-party Surface keyboard things or keyboard attachment things. That's wrong. Sorry. So if you see me reference anything about that later in the video, and it makes it in the cut, remember it's wrong. My bad. And yeah, so see you later. Let's get back to the video. Bye. You can spend the $1,000 to get the iPad Pro and then get a $60 keyboard. Or you can buy the smaller version, which is $799. Buy the smaller keyboard and it would be less than what they're offering. Like, my problem overall with this ad, like, it's marketing, right? So you have to make your product seem better than the competitor, right? That's just how marketing is. Marketing is never fair. It's never giving the little guy a chance, because obviously you gotta sell your product and you want your product to be the best. If I was selling a product, I wouldn't want to make my product look like the only thing you should buy, right? The way they set this up, it mocks a review. At the beginning, the actor guy says, hey, you guys wanted me to review these two products, but throughout the ad, it does nothing that an actual review would do. A review would say, hey, this product A, is better than product B because product A can do this. Although product B still has a better design. So if you're about that design, buy product B. You know, it's not always con pro. It's pro con. It's the balance between each product, right? So it's not all this product bad because it's not like this product. It's this is good because of this reason, although it has this reason. And now what we do is we compare each product together and we give you a definitive, this one's better, this one's not as good, right? But this ad has a review kind of aura to it or something like that, or it's supposed to mock a review, but it has nothing to actually review and show what's good about the products. Hey, I'm back with another rephrase. I wanted to add on to the last segment you just watched and clarify a few things. I understand that the way they did that is for a reason, it's for marketing reasons, but my main gripe with that is that because it uses a kind of review format, it seems more sociable and people will gravitate more towards it, not knowing that the actual review, in air quotes, is deceptive. So yeah, all it does, the whole entire ad, and I know it's like Aiden, but all it does is show the Surface Pro 7, right? Which I understand, it's an ad. It's supposed to be like that. It's literally the purpose of an ad is to show why my product's better than everyone else. But there are better ways to show your product, and to totally disregard everything that your competitor has is not correct, because you know that there is someone out there who doesn't understand a single thing about tablets or computers, who are just gonna see Surface Pro better because of reasons stated, and not actually know that the iPad Pro could be the better choice. And yes, there are gonna be people who buy their Surface Pro 7 and are totally happy, and good for them. But this is manipulation at this point, at a certain point. Like, you can't deny that they're intentionally making the iPad look worse and just canceling out any positives that it has to make theirs look better, right? And it just grinds my gears because I know what the iPad can do. I know what the Surface can do. And they're both great products. But if you're going to create a mock review about it in an ad campaign and just absolutely destroy one of them and make the one that you really want to win look like the pinnacle of like products, right? It's not how you're supposed to do it. That's it. That's the end of it. I've got my thoughts out of the way. It's been such a long video. I'm done with this thing. What did you think of the video? What did you think of the ad? I don't even know. Are you an Apple guy? Do you like Apple products? Do you like Microsoft products? I don't know. That's all I have to say for the video. I hope it turned out well. I went definitely off tangent at certain points, but I hope I made it concise and I hope I said what I said. That's the end of the video. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you like the video, like it, and I'll see you sometime. Bye.